Back to my notes. All right. So last session ended a little abruptly, so we're gonna not necessarily backtrack, but pick up where we left off. The end of last session, y'all had come back into Waterdeep and had a brief meeting with the High Court Council for the Lord's Alliance. It was more or less of an ad hoc type meeting as y'all entered and were quickly debriefed and had a short conversation with them. We're going to say that they needed to reconvene at a later date, and they directed you to part of Waterdeep, which some of you may have been to Waterdeep, passing through. Y'all were sent to a house, the Hawk Winter House in the North Ward. To gather yourselves after your trip back from the events that had transpired previously.
What was the name of the place? The what?
It's the Hawk Winter House. It's in the North Ward of Waterdeep. Waterdeep, you probably would know, is divided into several wards. The North Ward, here, I'll just show you the map, just for your reference. Yeah, sorry. If you click on it, it'll get a little bit bigger. And your original meeting with the council was kind of at an annex building outside of the city. They're not wanting to bring in the contingent that was with you into the city and cause an uproar. So you were currently at the Hawkwinter Estate. It's more of a chateau. You would all arrive there. You would have had some rest on your trip back. However, it would not have been comfortable. You were greeted when you get to the estate by a gentleman that maintains the estate. He greets you and shows you to your individual rooms. And this would probably be about noon of that day. Y'all would have probably met the early morning, and then it's been sent to the house. The gentleman that greets you is an elderly gentleman dressed in a servant attire. And he greets you and tells you his name is Sir Arthur Henry Woodhouse. He says he'll take care of any of your needs while you're staying here. And if you need any direction, he'll be happy to help you out. So you'll get your thing settled in, and he has a meal prepared for you. It says that you have time to shower or bathe or whatever you need to do, and then you're welcome to eat.
Hey, just for clarification,
Mm-hmm.
so when you said we rested but weren't comfortably, like I already reset myself as if we had a long rest.
Oh, you had plenty. Yeah, you had plenty of long rest.
Okay, cool. Just making sure, because I was like, I have no idea where.
How's Graham looking? Is he back to full?
Yeah, he's back to normal.
All right, cool.
That's a plus.
Because I did not remember where I was before that long rest.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It would have been in bad shape. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, bad shape, real bad.
Rough.
Well, hey, I'm hungry. I'll go eat that meal.
Yeah, let's go eat. Food.
It's been a long time since we've had a good meal.
It has been. So y'all proceed to eat, and about the time the meal wraps up, there is a small group of the City Watch arrives with a knock at the door, and there is a small dwarf that is let in by Woodhouse, and he is here to gather your request and take them to the council. So he asked if you would please hand over whatever documents you may have, and he will see that they get to the council.
Done.
Yep, I'll hand him my parchment.
I will hand him my long scroll.
That's what she said.
I just pull out my small piece of paper, looking at everybody else like, yeah.
Jared kind of opens up and spills to the ground. He rolls it back up.
I'm like, pick it up, sticky note.
So he'll gather them up, just kind of loosely, and tuck them into his pocket, and kind of waddle out.
Bye.
Along with his guards. He also says that the council will meet you tomorrow at noon.
Shop party.
We look forward to seeing them tomorrow at noon.
Oh yeah, thanks. Remember that's Carrick with a C.
So I'm going to ask Sir Arthur, can you tell me anything about the house? Arthur, I've never been here. What's any history here about this place?
The Hawkwinter house?
Yeah.
It's been here for a long time. It was previously owned by the Hawkwinter family. However, with their passing of the elderly matron, she donated it to the city for incoming guests. So this is where they put up individuals that come through that don't need to be staying in inns and taverns and whatnot.
Is there any other guests in here with us, or?
No, currently no. I've been with this house ever since the family moved. I've been taking care of it since. You were the only residents.
Okay.
It's a very fine place. I've never stayed in a place so nice.
Yeah.
What's there to do around here? We got what, a day? Half a day?
You've got the rest of this day, tonight, and in the morning.
Hey, Sir Arthur, where could a lonely wizard find a nice big bottle of ink?
I'm sure there are several places in town that would have ink. There's a large market. However, this is not the shopping episode. So the Seaward District down by the sea would probably have some. So,
Were there any districts that are super dangerous that probably have a lot of ink that we shouldn't go to, but probably need to go to?
Yeah, like super powerful wizardy type people. Totally like they like the way we look, but they're like cooler.
no, generally pretty safe around here.
Just please don't take me to anywhere where blood magic's happening. It didn't go well last time.
There's not any crazy orc villages in town, are there?
No, sir, not that I'm aware.
Okay, we're all good here then.
And you would notice just the people walking around town. Most people don't carry weapons, unless they're with the city watch, and very few people are wearing armor. It seems like a fairly safe place. So, you have the day to do whatever you want. I know Grim is going to pull Ivor aside and ask him if he can perhaps have maybe 5 to 10 gold, since he is dead fucking broke.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I'm gonna give him 200.
He said, "Nah, that's too much." He said, "I'm just kidding."
He's going to get laid.
What's a beer and the dwarven friend?
I'm bearded friend.
I'm gonna say no. I mean, I know. I tell you what. I'll hang on to it. Here's you 50. How about 50?
Oh, that'll do.
Till you get back on your feet. And if you need anything else, let me know.
So, so he pockets the cash, the gold, and
Where are you headed?
grab the shirt. I'm going to grab some L and see what this.
You want me to come with you? Let me come with you and catch up. We hadn't got a chance to talk since the castle was falling.
He said he can. You're welcome to come with me if you want.
Yeah, I'll come have an ale with you.
Did I hear that? I'll go. I can't right now think of anything I need to do. Besides, I need some healing potions.
Hey, I'll ask him if there's a temple to Maliki here in town.
Yeah, there would be. It's going to be, without looking it up, in the castle ward.
Okay, I'll make my way there while they head to the bar.
Okay. And he goes directly to the castle ward, and it's a place called the Yawning Portal. He's obviously been here before, and proceeds to drink heavily until the night.
He's drinking with intent.
Right, with the purpose.
What'd they do to you, man? You're trying to forget here.
Who hurt you?
Yeah, where did they touch you? Look, Baron, come here. Point on Baron. Where did they touch you?
As the day moves on, the ones that are still at the house, that would be Jack and Carrot and Roland. There is a knock at the door about sundown, right before sundown, and there's a group looking for Darut, a small dwarven fellow. And I don't know if Darut made it back by now.
Yeah, I just went to pay homage.
He asked to see the route and said that there's, as per the request of the council, there is an item in the request that they wanted him to come retrieve for his effort to fulfill your request.
I will gladly go receive that item.
And Drew is never heard from again.
Inside
And roll
check.
for a new character.
He looks it over and kind of nods his head and says, "I think I can make this work." And he leaves.
Is it a saddle?
It might be.
No, you would know that he was looking for that. The particular item was the dragon tooth that you retrieved.
Yes.
And he leaves. The night continues. It gets dark. In the middle of the night, after most of you probably have gone to sleep, there is a knock at the door, and Woodhouse wakes Jack up.
Damn it, Woodhouse.
He said, "Pardon me, sir. There's a gentleman at the door that requests an audience with you."
Okay. I'm not happy about it, but I'll do it.
You go
Really?
downstairs, and there's a guy there. He asked, you also made a request that you have a set of items that the Lord's Alliance would like him to look at to see how viable they are.
Yep.
And he says he apologizes for the time of night, but given the nature and the sensitivity of the items, he does not want to transport any of such items in daylight.
Yeah, I don't blame you, bro. I've been doing it for a long time.
He said, I assure you I'll get them back to you in the same manner in which I received them, but I need to look at the specimens to see what condition they're in.
Okay. I give them to him.
Okay. I need you to make 3 percentage dice rolls.
Ooh,
That's a D100?
100.
A D100.
Actually, I don't need that screen. I need this. 3. Well, that didn't do it. I was supposed to roll them.
Right there.
That's pretty good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a lot.
88, 23, and 76.
That's a great roll.
Okay. With that, the next day comes. I assume everybody's back at the house. And Woodhouse.
I don't know. I was going toe to toe with Grim on pounding these things. Did we make it back?
Y'all both came back to the house.
Okay.
The Woodhouse is up as everybody comes down. He apologizes. He's like, I'm sorry. The breakfast is going to be roughly about 4 minutes later than normal.
I'm going to say
Damn it,
Woodhouse.
Woodhouse.
Are we having a dragon omelet?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead, Chris. I mean,
What?
go ahead, Jack.
Oh, I was just cussing Woodhouse out. That's
Oh, I'm going to say Woodhouse. Do you have any sand?
all.
not no, sir. I sure don't.
Okay, when you're done serving breakfast, go find some sand.
Very well, sir.
I don't know how you buy sand, but like really coarse sand.
Like the size of salt.
Yeah, like thick, like big grain salt. When you get back, rub it in your eyes. We don't like breakfast. No, that was just on Archer.
No.
Yeah.
So breakfast is served. Everyone eats. And Grim does not show up for breakfast.
Oh God, I go look for a note.
He did leave a note. He did say he would be back in time for the meeting. However, there was some stuff he needed to take care of this morning.
Damn it, Graham.
About halfway through the morning, you hear large, loud, seems like convoy of horses show up. The same little dwarf, Marcus, waddles up to the door and says, "Hey, I don't know, man." They said to drop this shit off at the door. Do y'all know what to do with it? I don't know. It's a lot of boxes. I'm a wee fella, so I'll do what you want to with it. But you got to get out these carts because I got to get back to the palace.
Woodhouse.
Woodhouse comes back. His eyes are red.
I'll help him with the boxes.
Yeah.
There is a large crate, musty, covered in dust. There's also a nice box wrapped up with a smaller box on top of it. It has Baron's name on it. So
Let's bring it inside.
y'all bring it inside.
Your traps.
The crate is nailed shut. The boxes are just tied up.
Let's open the crate.
You open the crate, and it's, like I said, dusty and old, but what you pull out is four folded very nicely, very large flags emblazoned with the emblem of Valor Point.
Nice.
You also find a box that has basically like what you would get for like deployment pins for being deployed to certain locations. All these are Valor Point deployment pins. It seems like this was some decommissioned stuff from the Lord's Alliance.
Wait, so what's a deployment pin again?
It's just like a insignia for Valor Point.
Oh, like a pin. Okay, I got you.
In there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's up.
New Iron Lord badges.
There's a note that
Valor
says,
Point official.
there's a note that says, since the decommission of Valor Point by the Lord's Alliance, these have been in storage, and given the substance of your request, we see that you have taken possession of that facility, so you would have more use for these than us. Baron, you open your boxes.
Mm-hmm.
The larger box. 1 second. You open it up. There's a set of very well made and tailored clothes.
That's what's up.
There is an ascot,
Yes.
a coat with bells, a pair of very, very well made and very highly polished shoes. There is a cane.
Yes.
There's another box that contains a top hat.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
There is also in the very bottom a fur-lined dong with a little pocket for your sack.
Fur-lined thong, you said?
Yep.
With a pocket for what?
His
Nut
ball.
sack.
Get a nut cup.
Yes.
Keep your nuts warm.
Well,
And that's how you make a request, boys.
that's great.
Some poor lady had to sew you a fur thong nut sack pocket.
Probably custom fit.
Yeah, how do they measure that? Do they have like a scientific?
That's how they measure pants.
Yeah, they're like eyeball.
The cupping.
Yeah.
Cupping here.
Anyway, then there's a note that says,
Made with love, Inspector
as for your request, this was done post haste. Hope it's to your liking. And that will take up most of your morning.
We'll go change into those clothes.
Well, that's totally awesome.
We're gonna have Woodhouse buff a little bit of the small armor too when he gets a chance.
Man, I don't think, Baron, I don't think you've come out of this armor in like a month.
I know it needs to be clean.
Probably a little crusty.
As he drops this stuff off, he also says that there is a set of armor that he's supposed to retrieve. It says a gentleman named Grimm has a set of armor that he would like to have sent over. So one of you do go back to his room, and the armor that he was wearing that he had to take off of Tolbin is laying in his room. So you assume that's the armor, and you give it to Marcus, and he takes it with him. So that concludes the morning, and y'all are supposed to report to the palace in Waterdeep for your meeting with the council at noon.
You heathens are dressed in armor. I'll take out my. I want to put my Valor point pin on too.
Okay.
Right under your Iron Lord badge, I hope.
I mean, obviously.
Well, boys, I guess we should head to this meeting.
Yeah, let's go talk to these fancy pants.
Let's go.
Jack, listen, you're gonna have to talk to everybody.
Oh God, just not feeling it today.
You know,
Woodhouse, just bring me a mimosa.
around people. I'm just considering.
You can have a roadie.
Yes, I really don't think.
need a roadie.
Yeah, in Waterdeep there are carriages that you can, they're more than happy to take you almost anywhere you want to go. You do not have one assigned to you, but
Can I pull my
it's
phone?
easy enough. You tell them where you want to go, and they take you
Woodhouse, get a carriage.
there. Woodhouse fumbles around, walks past and hands you a very well-made mimosa.
Full service.
Yeah.
He's busy.
And flags you down a carriage and tells them where you want to go, as he is very familiar with the city. driving through the city, you do see all of the large what are they called?
Buildings?
Well, that, but the statues, huge stone statues, giant, that are about the city. So they seem to be very much out of place, but they're all frozen in place.
I asked the driver what they're of.
These are the 8 behemoths that were stationed to guard this area before the spell plague. And after the spell plague, they have gone dormant.
Wait, so we're post spell plague. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Carrick would know all about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You would know their.
Carrick would absolutely know that.
But Brandon doesn't.
Yeah. That's just.
Drew doesn't know anything about it, but James Michael does.
Y'all do arrive at the palace, which is probably one of the nicer buildings y'all have been in all of your time about here.
Before we walk in, I look at Ivor and I tell him not to kill anybody.
Yeah, not easy. Just one?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
just the tip.
Just to see how it feels, just for a minute.
Just for a second.
Don't bring on this in.
You arrive at the palace and you get to the front door and walk in. You aren't necessarily greeted, but you ask. You can tell them who you are and who you're here to meet, and they direct you to a lobby waiting area where they tell you to wait. You're there for probably 20, 30 minutes. There's another group that walks past you, being led by the usher. You can see on their uniforms that they are with City Works. And they walk past you and go in, and they spend 30 minutes or so in there with the court.
Yeah, but after we've already been waiting 20?
Don't they know who we are? Hey, did Grim show up?
Do what?
Did Grim show up?
No, he's not there.
He's not here?
No. The City Works guys, they come out, and then another group goes past you and they go in. They're in there for roughly about 30 minutes as well.
Damn.
Power outage.
I think this is some kind of power play. I think we should let Ivor start shooting people.
5 minutes ago. You said.
After about an hour and a half of waiting, you were ushered into the hall. And as you walk in, you can see a group. You may recognize, maybe heard of some of them. There are 6 members on the council. 1 seat is empty. There is also on the side. Let's see.
As in, there's 7 total, but 1's empty?
Yeah, there's 1 missing right now. On the side, there are 4 other individuals. One you do recognize is Otto Fromm of the Order of the Gauntlet. Y'all met him in El Terrell.
What was his name?
Didn't we piss him off? I can't remember.
He was
I
your
remember that name.
he was your contact after Grim went missing. Him and
He got us in with the Harpers. Is that what it was?
hit the Harpers and the Gauntlet.
What's his name again? Otto?
He's in the.
From?
He's in
Order
the
of the
journal.
Gauntlet.
Okay. Are you saying from?
FRUM.
Oh. Does he have a son, plays quarterback at Georgia?
No.
Okay. Just curious.
Oh, snap.
The six seated in front of you, there's a lady in the middle. She stands up and greets you and tells you all to have a seat. There are chairs lined up on the table. She greets you. She greets you as I'm the open Lord of Waterdeep, Lady Silverhand. I will be in charge of this council and see over this this meeting. She says, to my right is the King of Mithril Hall, Mr. Braun Anvil. Next to him, I believe y'all have talked, the Lord Protector of Neverwinter, Lord Nevermember. Also, High Maid Silvery Moon, Hornblade, and the Grand Duke Boldar's Gate, and the leader of the Iron Fist, Ravengard. And representing Daggerford is Sir Isteval.
I just want to say, Lord Protector Neverwinter, we were breaking up earlier when we were talking. Totally my fault. I had some bad reception. I don't know what you think you heard there, but I apologize for if there's any,
Communications.
Thank you, sir. And then I'm going to bow. I'm going to do a couple bows.
Yeah.
If you would you all please take a seat? We would like to get this started. And she sits down and says, first off, you know who we are. We have no idea who the Iron Lords are.
We gonna learn today.
Who is the leader of this group?
It's more of a democracy.
It
Yeah.
is definitely
An
not me.
autonomous collective.
I am not the leader.
Before that, we're still new.
I am not the leader.
Yeah.
The Lady of the Lake came forth and gave it. No, wait.
I just kind of tagged along. I don't know.
We gotta make decisions as a group, and then sometimes people, and I point to Ivor, do what they want to do. So, fluid situation.
Fluid situation.
Mhm.
All right.
I've heard a lot of talk about this Grim guy.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Is he here?
No, he's not there.
Y'all should go find him. He's totally the leader.
She sits down and kind of mage hands some paperwork to herself.
She did.
Yeah. And as the mage hand is flipping through the paperwork, she goes, "Well, I would like she flips through the paperwork. Let's start with Ivor Thrumguard. Would you please step forward?"
That would be me, your lady, my lady. And on behalf of everyone, might I say you look really pretty today. Throw that out there.
There is no need for flattery.
Okay. Jack just told me to say that, so.
Why could I suddenly see you doing that?
Totally.
Are you saying your name's Pam? Silva Pam?
Yeah,
Pam?
I'm gonna step in. I think I can help with the whole Pam situation.
Eric's just sitting there shaking his head. But yeah, no.
It's Pam with 2 M's, correct?
It's silver hand. Is it a ham? Silver ham or hand? Lariel silver hand?
Silver hand.
Are you saying ham? Like ham with a B?
Since you're the funny man,
No. I apologize,
This
man.
is just usually how this goes.
When I get nervous, I make jokes. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's a wonder we get anything done.
well,
What's the paper say? There was a dragon. I just want to start off by saying there was a dragon.
we'll get there.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead with the papers.
We need to figure out who exactly the Iron Lords are. So we have a little bit of information on you. We know some of the goings on over the last, let's say, month or so.
Well, I can kind of give you a summary of what brought us to here.
Could you tell me, if you please, what happened in Phandalin?
Well, so we left Neverwinter. We were just going to deliver some goods. We got to Phandalin, found out they had some issues with Dragon Cult. There was some pressure on the town. There was a lot of rumors of just a lot of goings on around in the woods. We went to help the town to try to figure out what they're kind of getting terrorized by the Red Brands, a group of local group of thieves. We end up kind of helping them get rid of those guys. Stumbled upon the Dragon Cult and kind of their plans of what we've talked to Lord Never am I saying that right? Never Ember Dagolt. Lord Protector. Yeah. So we kind of talked to them. But what happened at Phandalin is the Dragon Cult, when we stumbled upon their stuff, what was going on in their plans, they took it out on the town of Phandalin and burned it to the ground. Luckily, we were able to escape and get back to El Terrell and tell them where our plans were.
Let's talk about Phandalin.
Okay. And every time I say it, I cross myself. Phandalin government.
So, from what I understand and what I know of the current situation in Phandalin, it is, for lack of a better word, no longer there.
That's true. That's correct.
So what means and how did you get out of Phandalin, and where exactly did you go?
All I know is I had a badass bow, and I was staring down. I had a red dragon right in front of me. I let it loose like this, and then killed it. I thought the dragon was gone, and then 2 other dragons came in, and then we had a guy. Where is he? Roland. We had a friend of ours, Roland, came in, saved the day.
Roland's gonna look at Ivory and go, "You don't bring me into this."
Did I say? Yeah, we got teleported out of there, or we got.
When you mentioned Roland, the mage hand flips through some more paperwork and looks at it. She said,
Thanks, Ivor.
"So this
Roland, raise your hand. Roland, right there in the back. The guy that's kind of sliding.
I don't trust him.
I'm going to, while people are just kind of looking around, I'm just going to slowly turn into, I'm going to make myself look just like Carrick.
Drode will just chime in. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that guy.
She kind of just pinches her brow. and looks at this paperwork. And she goes, "So, this was your first encounter with what we now know as the dragon cult. Would that be correct?"
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, yeah. I mean, and most all of my friends here, we had never heard of them up until this point when we actually got to Fandolin.
Okay. So that was what? A month or so ago?
It feels like a year or so, but yeah,
Yeah.
feels like 2 years, but yeah.
So you escaped the dragon cult there, and where did you go?
Lord, a couple places.
All right, let's stop there.
Okay.
I'm looking at this list
Yep.
of requests. And I've got to say, some of the stuff I've personally never heard of.
Okay. All right.
I've had to go to various sources.
Yeah.
A roll of 20 apparition stickers, a mother, a bag of food,
Yeah.
a deed to a warehouse,
Maybe.
a decisive coin, a peephole ring,
I just like to see things.
a skeleton key,
I don't know what's on the list over there. Is that what you're? Yeah.
500 gold.
Do what?
You want 5,000 gold.
Is that what that is? I think the ink blurred a little bit.
In use of a already bequeathed boat to a Baron Leopold Heel.
I don't know. Did I put that on there? I thought that was just in my head. I didn't.
With a crew.
That's probably on there.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah. I don't know. Maybe the list got combined. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Is that what it says?
She grabs the paper and sets it aside, pulls up the next piece of paper.
Is that a no? Okay.
Let's see. He flips through them. Let's see. Carrick Gallmouth.
Oh,
Would you
yeah.
please step forward?
Yeah, I stand up.
As Mr. Thumgard had said, you love Fandolin. And where did you go from there?
So Roland K showed up. Okay, so like we thought Roland was like a bad guy, right?
Roland, wave your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna since he's already stepped forward, I'm gonna change out of Carrick's appearance and go back to Roland and say yes, Roland in attendance.
Yeah. So he was like the bad guy, right? But then like we were gonna die, and he showed up and he vamped us out of there. And then the Harper, what was her name? Lady something, right? Y'all remember?
I don't know, but she was really nice. She
kind of hooked us up with a little bit of traveling money, and so then we headed out. We made it all the way to El Terrell. No, we went to Yarder first. We went to Yarder. That's where we went, and then.
Well, okay, so you went to Yarder.
Yeah.
After Fandolin was destroyed.
Right.
We found Jack on the way.
Yeah, Jack. We picked him up.
Yeah, it's true.
Did
It buried some people.
and this
It's my cousin.
and
He didn't kill him. He told us he didn't.
And as you got to Yarder, you didn't want to think to notify the authorities of a cult of dragons.
Well, actually, we kind of totally
Oh,
did.
everybody.
Yeah.
We told we did.
I mean, I don't know if they're still on lockdown. We should probably talk to them. I haven't kind of swung back by yet, but yeah, we talked to some people at the Coster, at the Lion Shield Coster, and I think they kind of let the authorities know for us because there was definitely like people with spears and stuff running around.
They guarded the walls pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Locked the gate.
So you personally did not go to any authority figure and say, "Hey, we personally witnessed."
Well, here's the thing. Like the previous authority figure in Fandolin, like he kind of like we're having trust issues.
Trying to kill us.
There was he kind of turned on us. I mean, we killed him since then, but yeah. So we weren't thinking about we were more thinking about hiding.
Actually, Baron killed him. Wave your hand, Baron. There's Baron back over there.
Sure. No, you got to kill him. Remember?
Well,
She looks at Aaron and she goes, "Well, at least somebody knows in this group knows how to dress."
That's exactly what I said.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of knew about it, but we forgot. We didn't. We were too busy. Like we were looking for something. What were we looking? I can't remember what we were looking for.
So the next report that we have of the Iron Lords, nearly days after Fandolin is destroyed, is in El Terrell. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not very good at geography here. El Terrell is on the other side of the goddamn coast.
Well, I'll be like, yeah.
So, not only did you not notify the proper authorities, you somehow managed to get to another side of the coast.
I'll look over at Otto and see if he wants to chime in here.
He stands up and he says, "That is mostly correct. My agreement was with a gentleman named Ragram. He's not currently here, but he was supposed to meet me. At the time, I had no knowledge of the Dragon Cult or of this group as a whole. Had I known, I may have acted differently. But yes, I did grant them access to a teleportation circle to El Terrell, where I had first contact, and he sits down.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Okay. In El Terrell, that's a whole nother situation. Lord Ruth was here.
oh crap! It just occurred to Haver what happened in El Terrell. No.
It'll be Roland's turn, I think. Eric said.
Yeah, please.
Lord Luke was here and left me he left early this morning. His contingent of gay jumpers that were essential in the rescue of this group are headed back to El Terrell. But he did leave me some notes, so I think this would be a good time to go over what
Eric goes and starts to sit down.
items were requested here. And, we might need an intermission here, but we're going to continue with
The highlights. Just the highlights.
the highlights. We'll start with item number 4.
I honestly can't remember. I'll have to pull it up.
It says means in which to set up your own personal library for research and continue education.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Specifically, just text concerning my chosen specialty of abjuration. Well, isn't that special?
Yes.
It says here you're a self-taught wizard.
Yeah, completely self-taught.
Okay. And then item 5, it says here a few components. You seem like a bright fella. a few incense, gold dust, rare chalk infused with gems, fine ink, silver mirror, a 3 by 2 by 2 foot chest made from rare materials worth at least 5,000 gold, and a tiny replica of said chest, gold dust, 1,500 golds of ivory. There's a list of jewels here. These would be much appreciated.
Any or all, I think is what they said. Any or all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He would be much
Your,
appreciated.
your memory is at least good. Also, another list of items,
Oh yeah.
ascending order of usefulness. Let's go backwards on this.
No, well, you gotta shoot for the sky. I think sometimes. Yeah.
Road with the Archmage,
Oh yeah.
visibility.
44 long.
I mean, I honestly have never seen some of these items. I don't know how you know about them.
I've read about some of them in books.
Oh, Horn of
Tell her you spent 100 years in the library. Tell her that might have touched her.
This is the exact.
Tell her you spent 100 years.
I put it in the letter, Albert.
There's also some other items on here that aren't necessarily of monetary value. An official writ signed by the members of the Lord's Alliance declaring the Iron Lords to have confidence of our organization and to operate as agents of the same. Knowledge and unrestricted access of all of our teleportation circles in all our major cities. The knowledge of their location. Okay. A 10% finder's fee of all the treasure that was found on Skyreach Castle. Assume that is the doomed vessel that we found you on.
One thing about that, the dragon actually killed the leader guy. I didn't realize, the castle was going to plummet out of the sky, and it did.
We had that situation totally under control.
Yeah, killed the giant.
We'll address that here shortly. Let's see. You use some phrasing here. You express your gratitude for our assistance.
That's true. We were going to be flat like a pancake, not gonna lie. We had a contingency plan, but it would have been shoddy at best.
You understand that it was not the most ideal ending to that situation.
Yeah.
And you address the fact that you group has shown a modicum of skill.
I mean, we're still alive.
Very, very much so. Okay. Well,
We've killed 2 dragons, just so you know.
Well,
As a group, I mean, obviously Ivor did it, but
now
we've killed 2 dragons.
since you're up and speaking, Mr. Van Zander, why don't you step forward?
I'll step forward.
I mean, I can sit. Does that mean I can sit down now?
The mage hand wave back to your
I'll
feet.
throw in my own mage hand and give it a high five.
She does not reciprocate.
You just slapped her hand. That's all you did.
Mr. Van Zander, we left our little fairy tale here in El Terrell, where,
I have a vague recollection.
well, I've got notes. I'll refresh your memory. It seems that you ran into some trouble in El Terrell. Could you elaborate?
I just kind of kept to myself, and I just recently met the group, and I was getting taken all over the place, but that's about all I remember.
Well, Lord Duluth remembers it quite differently. He was approached by concerned citizens that one was threatened with a deadly weapon, which, as per his laws in his town, is forbidden. After a thorough search of the city, you were brought before the court and pled guilty, and you did pay a fine and were asked to not return for I believe it was 30 days.
Well, I mean, I questioned somebody that I thought was engaged in illicit affairs. I was asked to, maybe take a leave of absence from the city, potato, but yeah, that's kind of it, I guess.
And while that's going on, I'll look at Drode and say, "Remember that kid at the Emerald Conclave?"
While
I do remember him, Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy. Yeah, that was his name.
well, that is confirmed from Lord Duluth. There are also unconfirmed rumors that your group was also seen prior to your apprehension, carrying a decapitated head of a dragonborn through the streets.
Oh Lord, was this in Fandolin? Because we did a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This group, I'm kind of new to it, but they cut the heads off of everything, and I've kind of lost count. So if you say we did it, I'm sure we did. But
I'm going to go ahead and, ma'am, that was me. We were just trying to bring back proof to the lords that the Dragon Cult was there and confirm what we had seen.
Did you present this evidence to Lord Duluth at the time of the hearing for Van Zander's?
I did. I did. There was a head there.
Okay.
Didn't I?
No, y'all did not.
I think I remember
We
it was.
showed it to Otto though, didn't we?
I did. We showed it to
Yeah,
Otto.
but then you opted not to show it to them because of reasons.
Well, it was smelly. It was real smelly.
Yeah, but Otto.
I believe.
Yeah, we showed it to Otto. We didn't want to like.
at this point, Roland's going to just simply interject. Again, if we're going to sit here and go through my litany of misdeeds, we could be here for some time.
Well, let's wrap this up with. And she mage handed your piece of paper. It's a short list. A ring of spell storing and a rod of the pack keeper. Both items I am familiar with. There is also an item here that you have requested not be spoken aloud. That item, I believe, we can grant you. However, that will be on your own timetable.
Thank you.
She mage hands the next paper over and waves. Darut, I don't have your last name.
You don't have one. At this point, Dro is just staring dumbfoundedly at the rest of the group. Like, what? What have y'all done?
All right. I gotta ask.
Tell him to save Timmy.
Leaving El Terrell, is this where they picked you up as a member?
Yeah, I saw a wounded family that had been running from a cave, and they pointed me to a group that was inside. They said they might need some assistance. I believe the group did help them, if that gives any kind of indication. I thought they were good people when I met them.
One got shot with a crossbow, so was bad guys.
What's that?
I said one of them got hit with a crossbow, but she lived.
Yeah, and so that's where I ran into the cave and met this group. But I would like to say for all of El Terrell, all these things, I didn't know any of these things. I mean, I just found out about the dragon eggs back on the floating castle.
Interesting. So, leaving El Terrell, where was your next stop?
If I remember correctly, was it Baldur's Gate? I believe it was Baldur's Gate.
With the mention of Baldur's Gate, the member of Baldur's Gate, the Grand Duke Ravengard will address you. So you were in my city, post knowledge of the Dragon Cult. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was around that time that they kind of explained to me that there was a evil dragon cult, and that's where I was like, well, hey, I mean, if I want to stop evil, I'm a good guy, and definitely don't want a dragon cult taking over the world. So that's kind of where I joined them and decided to fight a dragon cult.
So walk me through what happened when you entered my city with this knowledge.
Well, let's see. I remember I went and met a blacksmith, and we went and fought a Hydra. That's where I joined the Emerald Enclave, if that helps. And I believe I told them about some dragons. But did I mention I'm a member of the Emerald Enclave? And I'll show them my necklace. And
That's quite impressive. If I recall, by that time, we had a run-in with a group. At the time, we weren't quite aware who they were. We had a large disturbance on our north gate. Several of our citizens were injured with the casting of numerous fireballs. And luckily, my guard of Flaming Fists were able to usher them north. Knowing what I know now, I know that was a large contingent of the Dragon Cult.
at that moment, Dro's going to realize what Baron said about Timmy and just turn around and look at him like, wait, what? Hold on, Timmy. Like he's just kind of mouth to Baron, like, you don't think Roland did that, did you?
No.
Do you?
We didn't see Roland there.
Okay, you're right. Sorry.
So again, you passed through. I don't know where you went after you left Baldur's Gate. I do know where you ended up. But I personally was not contacted with the knowledge of a dragon cult. Is that kind of where we stand here?
That is true. To be honest, at the time, I wasn't aware of how large of a problem this really was. My understanding, we were just being kind of pursued by them, or they were there and we were trying to avoid them. In honesty, I'm not the brightest guy. I'm not really aware of how large of a scale this problem is until now.
So you went north from Baldur's Gate, is that correct?
I'll kind of look over to Carrick and be like, did we go north? Okay, yeah, we went north. Yeah, I looked at him for smart questions.
That was a boat trip.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
You see the lady on the side, a dark tiefling, stand up. She's like, it left on one of my boats. You've never seen this lady before. But she is wearing a Zentarium emblem. You know, Gemma was a member of them as well. She said they left on one of my boats, of which I have not seen to this date.
Oh, it's probably fine.
And the Grand Duke hands it back over to the open Lord, and she says, "So you left on a boat headed north." your next stop was?
I believe we went to a Freeport, a little island west of here, to handle some business. At that moment, he's just now remembering that he was smuggling drugs and realizing that was probably a bad idea.
That's all right. The lady we were smuggling drugs for is in the room.
Yeah, Drow doesn't remember that. He's just going, oh, bad thing, bad thing. That was a bad thing.
Okay. Well, that's all well and good. You also submitted a list of items that you would like us to provide you. One of which is a dragon tooth sword. One, a shield, whether it be animated, spell, plague, art, sentinel. A tome of leadership and influence.
Nice.
Yeah, that one was written by Dale Carnegie, I believe.
Yeah, so it was. A military saddle for your horse.
There it is.
Where, might I ask, is your horse boarded?
He's in another plane right now. He's really more celestial than he is physical. I just kind of call him when I need him.
The high mage of Silvery Moon kind of struggled, saddle for your invisible horse. You want a promotion in the Emerald Conclave.
Yes, I believe I've earned that one.
She looks over and says, "It just so happens we have the head of the Emerald Conclave present."
Oh, wonderful.
Jack, you would recognize him. He's the one that handled your eggs. He stands up and he says, he did not get dressed for this. He's still in fur, unshaven. He says, I think we may be able to work something out with that, but we will address that after these proceedings. And he sits down, and it says also here a cloak of billowing.
Yes, I really want to look heroic when I'm fighting dragons.
You will probably get your chance. She changes out to the side and says, I guess there's one person we haven't talked to. Is there? Probably two people. Let's see. Flips to the paperwork. Is there Bartholomew?
You could call me Jack.
Jack. Okay, Jack. You're on a boat headed to Freeport while there is a cult of dragon running rampant on the coast. What was the point of the mission to Freeport? It is an island of illicit activity, mercenaries, and from best of my knowledge, there's been many cases of dragon cult in that area.
Well, you see what happened.
I don't see what that happened.
We were running some cargo for some people to Freeport with the boat that hasn't been seen, which is patched up, by the way. It's fine, so it's still there. And
Tell her about the vampire.
also, what?
The vampire. A vampire?
Yeah, that's just a very rude. I don't want to tell you. We also claimed our fort. So we have a fort.
You have a fort.
We have a fort.
You have claimed, from my knowledge, Valor Point, which we decommissioned years ago.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
We cleaned it up for you. We also have some Fae people kind of overseeing the
Grim
place.
said it was his, so
You showed us the deed.
yeah.
Gave us the deed.
Oh, I have no interest in Valor Point. I was just making it.
Oh, we didn't have any interest in giving it back. I'm just telling you the story. You guys all
Okay. So you're on Freeport. You claim Valor Point, and you head out from there. I've got a list of items here that are quite interesting.
We burned down part of a city block there too, so you know.
Well, I mean,
us.
Fighting that other evil group.
Yeah, we
I'm sure that is not an uncommon occurrence on that island.
You're harping on us about going to the authorities about the drag cult. So there's this other group called the Assembly. So don't say we didn't go to the authorities about them. Look them up.
Well, from what I know at this point, they are not a direct and imminent threat to all of the coast trying to raise.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I heard that before about the drag cult. It's never an imminent threat until it is.
The JB squad.
Speaking of imminent threats to society, I'd like to go through your list.
Yeah, there's only 3 things on there.
An iron stone.
Yep.
Of varying degrees.
Hey, I put that on my list too.
A ring of spell storing.
Yep.
Seen that before. And the most interesting one to date, 3 dragon eggs, one of which you would like to keep as a pet.
Yep. I want you to hatch it. So I'll probably you have the appropriate things there, and I'd like to raise it.
She says she looks. Well, we've had the eggs looked at, and of the 3, there is 1 egg still viable that could be hatched.
Oh, very good.
Just have to be fertilized. Good luck, Jack.
They're already fertilized. It's how they get made. Let's have to find somebody big enough to sit on them.
I can turn you into a woolly
I'm
man.
about to say a mammoth.
Well, that should be very interesting. What is your knowledge of care of dragons and the hatching of said dragons?
I don't know. But if you give us that library for Gary's continuing education, I'm sure it'll be in there.
It's huge.
I mean,
Huge.
I could totally read about that.
Okay, well, let's move on. I need Mr. Leopold Hill.
That's Baron Leopold Hill of Cortland Hill.
Baron
Megan.
Hill. She pulls out a piece of paper. So you leave Freeport, headed to.
Well, we ended up kind of taking.
I assume it's to Waterdeep or Neverwinter to notify the property authorities.
You would think. We took our borrowed ship, might have renamed it. That's neither here nor there. Took it to the Mire of Dead Men to
Wonderful. Yes, go ahead.
anchored it off the coast
Safely, we hit it.
safely. And also, point of note, when we get it back, or if you find it before we do, we have a barrel of Yeti Stout number 2 and a barrel of Sad Zombie in it. We would like those back. So yeah, Mire of Dead Men, we had to go there to help cut off the caravan of Dragon of Colt. We were talking to Jimmy this whole time I'm sure you're aware of that, Miss Nightshade.
She says, I am well aware of it now.
What's your next question?
Marv Edmond.
Bloody Tolvin. Bloody Tolvin. We named it the Bloody Tolvin. So if you see a boat,
Very clever.
Okay.
The
We
Marv,
thought so. We thought it was.
I'll finish the Mara Deadman for you. This Nightshade has been nice enough to inform me that she had a liaison of hers get you safely through the Mara Deadman to a castle where he left you to go get reinforcements. Upon the reinforcements return, I've been told they found yet another burning castle that y'all had been in.
One was it was acid.
yeah.
Melted castle.
Yeah.
That's probably more accurate.
Yep. Time flies when you're having fun.
And from what Ms. Nightshade says, you yet again teleported
Yeah.
to what at the time was an unknown location with no means.
That sounds familiar. Yes.
Is there like an FAA we need to? Is something we need to report when we teleport? Is there like a form?
So we ended up in the mountains, I
I
believe.
feel like we're getting a lot of. We didn't know. I know. I mean,
That's true. The last official we talked to kicked us out of his town.
if there's something we need to do, we're
up.
by the book every
The
time.
mention of official kicking people out of town, Lord Nevermender stands up and says, this is the point at which I was contacted. I was contacted directly through the leader of the Zentarium, organization that you seem to have aligned yourself with, that over time has been involved in providing both illicit and illegal substances, providing protection for people that are actively working against the Lord's Alliance. Now, what do you think my reaction would be to a leader of such an organization coming to me for help?
She's in the
I think if they had a good reason, it would be a good idea to help them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I contacted said group of mercenary vigilantes.
adventurers. We prefer the term
Trustworthy adventurers.
adventurer,
With a message
accomplished adventuring party.
that I understood your situation, where you were and what you were doing, where I advised you to observe and report.
It just so happened we were that came just about a blonde one too late. I mean, we were just right there in the midst of battle, and you know we couldn't wait much longer.
They were going to kill Grim.
They knew we were there.
Yeah.
Not long enough for a message.
Remember, we had bad reception. I was trying to talk to you, and you're coming in and out. It was like, "Hey, this is Lord Neverwinter." Over, and I was like, "I can't hear it."
I looked at it. There was only one bar on it. Pretty bad reception.
There's only one bar.
And the next message we do receive is that you're on
The castle was falling. Yeah.
flying castle headed to unknown location.
The giant was dead. The dragon was dead. The
I mean,
castle was falling.
And to be fair, if we knew we were going, we would have told you. But we were trying to get the captain to veer off course.
Yeah, I tried to ask him about that.
He's no.
Yeah, and no, he had nothing to say.
He's not happy. I know that.
I don't think he's alive.
I also tried to
Thought he
question
was.
any members.
Is he?
I also tried to question any members of the Dragon Cult, and now what we know is a contingent of Red Wizards that were also on this castle. And do you venture a guess of what they had to say?
You're welcome. I mean, we said you're welcome because they're dead.
Well, yeah. If you look, yeah.
Yeah,
One of them got away.
I feel like this is a loaded question.
it's more rhetorical.
I don't think they could have got off the castle though.
However, about this time, the back door opens and 2 guards are escorting Grim in. He is highly intoxicated.
Hey, Graham.
He's wearing a shirt with no sleeves on it. And he's got
God, please tell me he has like a longhorn tattoo on his shoulder,
he has a full
like the big ones.
dragon tattooed around his arm that comes up over his head and that is reaching to bite his now missing eye.
Did he just get that tattoo?
Did he just lose the eye?
Yeah, that was my question.
No, he lost the eye in the fire. Like Tobin took his eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say he's been busy. Talk about a bender.
That's a hangover.
Is the tattoo new? Is the tattoo? I don't remember the tattoo.
The tattoo's new.
Nice.
Oh man, they don't have any drunk tattoo rules over here in Neverwinter.
And the guards are like, I'm sorry, he's quite intoxicated. And she lays over a gentleman from the side, and he goes to cast a spell, and Grim grabs his hand and says, "No." If I wanted to put myself in this drunkenness, I would do it myself. And you're not intended on doing that.
I'm gonna lean over and whisper to Carrick, "This friend of yours is a peach."
Hey, it's worth it. We saved him. That's all that matters.
And he stumbles up and takes a seat at the table next to you guys. So she says, Mr. Leopold, you also had a request, or several.
Several.
I
Not
see.
as many as Mr. Carey.
I see you received your set of fine clothes.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
It says here you want 2 Zentarian mercenaries posted at the Hill Estate.
That's right.
That would be something you need to work out with Mrs. Nightshade. You want a Neverwinter building, a municipal planning committee in planning the rebuild of Pandorn.
Yes.
You want Valor Point recognized by the Alliance as an ally of the Landlords and consulted and notified of all activity in the region. And you want the El Terrell gate jumpers to visit Valor Point and train you in gate jumping,
Exactly.
as well outfit you with all the equipment necessary for doing such gate jumping. I have a note here from Lord DeLuke. He says you're welcome to come enlist in the Hell Riders and work your way up through the ranks. And as he sees fit, you could possibly entertain that idea.
That sounds like a sweet deal.
Also, you are requesting an animated shield or a cloak of bat. Is that correct?
Sounds about right.
Well, a couple items that need to be addressed. And then Grim stands up. I didn't get a chance to speak.
Oh boy.
He said, "Did you get my list?" And she's like, "Yes, Mr. Ragram, we did receive your list." Well, what do you think? You gonna get that? Make it happen? One second. First off, you probably wrote this when you were much sober, at least part of it. You would like a grave site dedicated to all the members of Fandolin or citizens of Fandolin that died, and you would like to request the ground be cast under the hollow shell of everlasting rest. You would also like the armor you supplied of one Tolbin to be made into a toilet to be placed inside Valor Point, so that it may carry out its long tradition of carrying pieces of shit. You'd also like some ethereal armor to replace said armor, and it says a weapon. Yeah, I want a weapon. I don't have one.
You
Okay.
got my +2/+2 greatsword.
She says, well, beyond that, there are some items that need to be addressed as far as the group is concerned. As far as access to all of our teleportation circles, as you know, Mr. Carrick, that cannot be allowed. I personally don't know the location of all of the teleportation circles, and that is a security matter that you can appreciate, given such that you're a magic user. People can put you under some sort of spells and gain access and move troops through those. As far as Valor Point is concerned, it is yours. It will not be recognized by the Alliance at this time. Given your standing, your mostly poor judgment that you have demonstrated, your willingness to, and disregard to act in direct opposition to order, your disregard for civilians, for the gain and profit, most likely, and knowingly as aligning yourself with factions that are involved in illicit activities. That being said, I believe we could make use of you and maybe have a relationship in the future. And at that time, we would consider recommissioning Valor Point in the Lord's Alliance at that time. We do have a warehouse on Freeport of decommissioned weapons that were outfitted for the castle, ballista, cannons, and whatnot, that we would allow you to have access to. Lord Nevermooner stands up. And his demeanor is not the same as the open Lord. He is actively hostile and says, this group, the Iron Lords, are not welcome in Neverwinter. Period. He said, I do not trust them. I've had a bad relationship with the Zentarium. Them choosing to align themselves with them at this time, I just cannot do it. I will maintain that Neverwinter will still be a member of the Lord's Alliance, but I cannot be party to this. And he leaves.
I'd just like to point out I'm with the Emerald Enclave. That's who I'm with.
Hey, is it the Zentarium lady? She's in the room with us.
Yeah,
I closed that. Where did that?
She's here.
Was she the lady we got the ship from that we were running the drugs for?
Yeah.
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 Well, her boss. She's the boss.
Yeah.
So he's openly insulting her. Is just to
Yeah.
that's indirectly
Yeah, like she's in the room, right?
because we aligned with her.
We did
Yeah.
for them.
She's kind of shrugging it off. She is very much okay with this.
Okay.
She knows where she stands, and she's not upset
She's
with
fine.
it.
Yeah.
The open Lord will stand up and says, "Gentlemen, the items that you have requested and that we have deemed worthy and that we could actually find have been delivered to your estate."
Oh, we get the house too.
No,
Oh, it's a runner.
it's a VOVB. We will be in contact with you. These items are being given to you in good faith, that when the Lord's Alliance does call on you, you will answer that call willingly and follow the orders given. In any event that you are found in any one of the Lord's Alliance cities in bad favor, these items will be taken.
Does that include Neverwinter now? Because that guy just goes.
Yeah, but he just didn't want us there. I'm confused. They were kind of from there, didn't that where we all met up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Can I just point out something, Miss Silverhand? I feel like we're being dealt with rather harshly for a group of people that have no affiliations, saw a need, and actually, I mean, we can get into the whatever we've helped. We didn't.
Pretty much saved the entire continent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're getting chastised here because we actually saved from them raising a dragon lord, where we have told people, maybe not at the time that you wanted us to. I mean, I feel like we're catching some flack here. I mean, is there everything going to be? There's no praise for it. I mean, no thank you or anything. I mean, not that we did it for the thank you, but is there some understanding here that we did the best we could?
I think best you could without our help.
Well, I don't. To be honest,
You know,
with you,
sometimes certain actions
I mean,
It all happened real fast.
yeah. I mean, I come from a farm. I've never had any formal training or any kind of affiliation with any high council or anything like that. So, I mean, we did what we thought we needed to do to save people. So that's all I'm saying. A little consideration. We appreciate the gifts, and I realize that but for him to kick us out of, not allow us in the town, I feel like that's a little unfair. So all I'm asking is you might have a word with Mr. Nevermember. It's just on our behalf that we haven't, that we've done what we felt like at the time was the right thing to do.
Hey, and we also cut a cult off heading towards Neverwinter with the help of the Zentarium, one by the name of Gemma, and they were definitely headed your way. And for us not to be allowed back in, that's a little bit rough.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
well,
Yeah, I mean, next time we find out something's coming in Neverwinter, we'll just leave it. You know, y'all deal with it. We don't like that city anymore.
while I do head this council for the Lord's Alliance on this matter of the Dragon Cult, we all do act independently in the best interest of our kingdoms. I will have a word with.
That sounds familiar. We acted independently in the best interest of the continent.
That being said, your deeds were valiant, however misguided.
Fair enough.
We were trying to save Grim.
Fair enough.
Taking up blacksmithing.
Yeah, Byron, he's done with his birth on.
I will have a word with Lord Nevermender. However, he will do as he sees fit.
Understood.
So in the future, though, if we're just passing through town, should we schedule a convo with any of you? I mean, do you want to hear from us?
Certainly would be recommended if you do pass through any of these affiliated towns or cities. It would not hurt.
Except for Neverwinter, we should hide when we're there.
My mom's gonna be pissed.
I can't speak for Neverwinter. However, it would do you a great justice to stop and at least poke your head in and let us know that you are in town and possibly available, if need be. It would go a long way in validating the Iron Lords as a member of the Lords Alliance.
This is when Roland's glad he can turn into whoever he wants.
That's true. You just met some very powerful people.
Yeah, I kept the memory picture of each one of them.
I can, if rewards and accolades are what you're looking for, I can have my men retrieve the items that they have dropped off
Roland's good with whatever he got. I don't need a parade.
and offer you a gold reward instead.
No. Like I said earlier, we appreciate the gifts and granting our wishes. We just the only point I was trying to make was the way he acted toward us. Hopefully, is not a representation of the whole High Council, and that there was some good faith. There was some good faith extended to us, and understanding that under certain circumstances, we did the best that we knew to do at that time. So that's all.
We're level 9 right now.
Huh?
I don't speak for the rest of the council, but as far as Waterdeep is concerned, you are welcome at any time. Like I said, just keep your noses clean, and when duty is called upon, we expect the Iron Lords.
She said duty.
Classic.
And
So you know what would make it easy to get to wherever you need us to be is teleport there, because I know how to do that spell now, so I could we could be there. If
as far as the Lord's Alliance is concerned, for official business with the Alliance, our teleportation circles will remain secure. However, these gentlemen and ladies over here do have more accessible teleportation circles. As you're aware, you've been through at least one of them. I'll leave it up to their discretion on what they will allow. And you're welcome to talk to them.
really we don't need to hang out with the Zentarian people anymore.
And as for one final request regarding Valor Point, we have no authority over that facility or anything on the island of Freeport or the island of Mataran. However, I believe Mr. Leopold,
Baron von Leopold.
has requested an official title in regard to that facility. He requested to be the Duke of Valor Point. Seeing how there is no prince, princess, king, or queen of Valor Point, I have no authority to grant that. However, if you do need an official title, we'll go with Grand Viceroy Special Agent of Valor Point.
I'll take it.
I guess he's our leader now.
He's pretty aggressive. Do we really want him to be the leader?
No. Jack does all the talking. I'm the guy that stands behind him.
With the understanding that that title comes with no paperwork, certificate of authenticity, and will not grant you any special favors with the Lord's Alliance.
Can I get a high five?
Drew, not fully understanding everything that was just said, is going to turn to Neil and just like, Grand Viceroy.
She said, so if you will, we have other business to attend to.
You got another group of adventurers that killed dragons and saved the continent.
Yeah, that you say for last.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know where any other dragons are currently?
We are having a special council to delve through the information.
See, this is how we get stuff done. We don't have councils. We just go get stuff done.
The information gathered from the you called it Castle of Skyreach. There were documentation, and Mr. Fromm and his colleagues were able to gather information from the libraries in the South
Libraries.
that do mention the Red Wizards. There is also a mention of a set of chromatic dragon mask that is used in the ritual of rising Calumet.
Carrick writes that down in his book.
They, from the best we can decipher from the text, they are not essential items. However, they are quite powerful, and when brought together, do aid in the ritual greatly. So we are very interested in that as well.
Please tell me Jack has it on.
Yeah, I'm still wearing it right now. I never took it off. I just kind of pull my hood up a little bit. It's got the little little strings on the side. It's got like the kid on Christmas Story.
Little horns sticking out, a little dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, from what the text says, the dragon's mask are able to see through into the goings on of the other mask wearers and what is going on while the masks are attuned to the individuals.
I will vouch for that.
Oh, man. That's like two-way.
Yeah.
Best we can tell.
Okay.
That was,
So take that off.
yeah.
Jack,
Yeah.
get that off before too long.
Yeah, you're basically wearing the ring of Sauron.
Yeah, you're at us now.
Yeah, the Palantirs.
Dragons appear at the council meeting, right?
Well, we will.
What happens if I just have like a piece of cloth over it the whole time? Is that all they're going to be able to see?
Just cover the eyes.
Yeah.
Nobody's thought of that in thousands of years. I'm just gonna stare at a brick wall. All right, let's go get our stuff. Unless there's something else on point of order that we need to take care of.
So are we gonna wait for your stuff? Like, how are you gonna get in touch with us?
You know, let us keep renting this sweet house for a little while.
I'll allow you to stay in the house as long as necessary until we need it for other purposes. However,
What else?
there's not an open invitation to stay as long as you want.
Will we still get Woodhouse up?
Mr. Woodhouse is a servant of the house. He has never asked for payment from us. So, I mean, do with Mr. Woodhouse as you see fit. Please do. He's an older gentleman. Please treat him kindly. He has done his service.
Fair enough. Anything else?
Before we leave, I'm just gonna look over at Winterhound and be like, "Hey, promotion? Is that thumbs up?" Thumbs down?
As y'all get up to exit, Mr. Winterhound will approach you, the route. He says he'll tell you that since the island of Mitarn is not represented with the Emerald Enclave and there are activities that probably need to be supervised, he will grant you the title of Special Envoy of the Emerald Enclave to Mitarn. You will be required to report directly to him and attend annual meetings of the Emerald Conclave.
Sweet. And I'm gonna turn to Barry and be like, "Did you hear that? I'm a special envoy."
Yeah.
And as soon as he goes to say that, rolling test banishment on Drew.
Roll for banishment.
Is that a saving throw? Yeah, I mean,
Charisma saving throw.
charisma saving throw.
I'm pretty sure there's like wards to prevent magic.
I rolled a natural 1.
Chambers like this.
All right, so Drew disappears.
That's a plus 11.
To the plane of existence. DC was 15, and he's
Yeah,
gone.
I failed that.
And then I'm just gonna look and laugh. Who's left now?
I rolled a natural 1.
That just happened in front of the High Council.
Yeah, it did. And then as soon as that happens,
Well, y'all were actually technically walking out because Baron, y'all were talking about this outside of chambers.
Okay.
And Roland's gonna make sure he's gone before Drew comes back after 60 seconds.
Yeah, out of combat, that's gonna be pretty quick.
Roland's getting a 60-second head start.
I have a +10 to my charisma saving throw, and I rolled a natural 1.
Yeah, I'll get with Nightshade about those 2 mercenaries, but we can do that whenever.
Yeah, we're just gonna assume that that y'all dealt with that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Under the party member tab, you should all have a handout of items gifted when you receive. When you return to your chambers.
party notes.
Oh, snap. Okay. Yes.
Where is it?
It should be under party members where your token is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gifts.
Party members where it says gifts.
Oh, snap. Yes.
Wait, mine didn't copy right.
Or did it?
Oh, gift. Ah, there it is.
Half of something.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll recopy that.
Mage armor for Ivor. Interesting.
1 second, Brandon.
44 long. I guess I'll keep it.
My own pet dragon? Awesome.
Dragon. Hey,
Dude, that's
I'm like a regent now.
Let me let me get that Word document back up so I can
Hey, question for you, Trevor.
Mhm.
Before we met with the council, did you say I also got a dragon tooth dagger?
no, they took your dragon tooth and made
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Okay, just making sure.
Come on.
All right, fellas, well, I'm going to bed.
All right.
All right.
What'd you get? Dang.
I got my things and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Also, I got a book on how to hatch a dragon egg. I'm gonna start working on that.
The Dummy's Guide to Dragon Hatching.
Yeah. So we get the gas bill might go up. Let's just take it out of the tab.
Rolling connect.
Hey, lucky for you, you know a warlock that deals with fire.
Yeah, that's right. See y'all later.
All right.
Hey.
Anyway,
See ya, bro.
Well, I seem to have lost my mouse here.
I got the cloak of the bat.
The cloak of the what?
Cloak of the bat.
I mean, you can fly.
Yes. In dim or dark light. And I can polymorph myself into a bat 1 time per day.
Nice.
I should ask for more stuff.
Yeah, and like at night, basically. Can't do it during the day.
I don't know what's wrong with my computer. I don't have a mouse.
Well, I'll be the first one to say thank you, DM.
Yes, that was great.
No, I wasn't expecting that. Appreciate it.
That was funny. That was good stuff tonight.
Yeah, that was great.
Let's see. What? What is this thing?